Wow, this might just be one of the best guitars I've ever played. Have you ever wondered why they called the ES335 the Burst Killer? Well, in my humble opinion, it's because it's the most versatile Gibson guitar ever made.
And in today's episode, I think I found the king of the ES335.
So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's get straight into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley and welcome back to another video. It's the start of the week, so I thought I'd start off with a bang with one of my favourite guitars ever made. This is the 1958 reissue of an ES335 and it's in a super sexy, dirty blonde Murphy Lab heavy aged finish. I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these guitars for so long. I've never played a blonde 335 in the heavy aged finish. Obviously we had a 58 tobacco in a couple of weeks ago, which I was very impressed with, and I kind of came to the conclusion that the 58 spec is one of my favorite specs for an ES335. You have the baseball back neck, you have the awesome pickups, and of course the whole vibe of the guitar is so good without the binding. It's a very kind of no bells, no frills type guitar, but they play amazing. But in today's episode, I'm kind of arguing my case that I think this is the king of ES335s. I think it's one of the best ones I've played, and it might just be one of the best guitars I've ever played. Prior to speaking to you guys now on the camera, I've actually recorded a full-length cover of an arrangement I've been working on with this guitar, and I was just beyond impressed by the tones, but more on that later. But before we do all the tones, let's grab the case and see what we get with this beautiful 58 guitar. But just before we do that, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy these Squealing Pig Guitars video, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a beautiful Lifton case, obviously 1958. They were using these beautiful brown cases. This is a recreation, of course, got the little Gibson logo down here. Inside, we have a beautiful 1958 spec Gibson 335. Of course, these guitars are very expensive indeed, but the package that you get is very nice indeed. So obviously you get the nice pink interior in the Liftons. Let's see what we get inside this little pouch. So firstly, we get a Gibson COA. This one's the Gibson Custom Shop Murphy Lab one. So we get a little bit of lacquer checking on the cover, which is cool. Inside, on the left here, you get the 58 spec kind of special edition thing. And then here you have a little bit of a description about this guitar. As you can see, it says Murphy Lab Heavy Aged Dirty Blonde. Got the serial number here. These guitars were actually very limited as well. These were in celebration of Gibson's 130th anniversary. So there's only 130 of these guitars in each finish. We also get some assorted paperwork, which is nice to see. Then you have your case keys and you have silica gel. But that's all that you get with this guitar. So let's pull it out and talk a little bit about the aesthetics and the specs. So guys, welcome to the spec talk and aesthetic talk section of this video. Of course, I'm going to go through all the specs of this guitar so you know what it's made up of, and then we'll give it a rating for the aesthetic. So starting off, obviously this is the electric Spanish shape, ES standing for that. And we basically have a maple, poplar maple sandwich of wood. That's for the top, the sides, and the back. So it's like a laminated guitar, of course. And then we have a maple center block running all the way through this guitar to make it semi-hollow. Then on the neck, we have a mahogany neck, as you can see from the difference in color of wood. This is the 58 carve, which is my favorite 335 neck carve. It's so thick. And then we have a really nice slab of rosewood on that. That's a very dark piece of rosewood, very, very attractive indeed. We then have the dot celluloid inlays, and then we have the classic ES335 headstock with the crown inlay. We have the Gibson Deluxe Clousson style tuners, which have been very heavily aged. They've been a smoky bar for years with that very nice kind of nicotine tobacco look. Moving on to the hardware, we have ABR1 bridge, aluminium stop tailpiece. This one's been aged very nicely. And then we have a set of PAF pickups, hand-wound pickups, unpotted, so you get that classic 335 tone. 2 volumes, 2 tones, 3-way switch. We also get the longer guard on this one, which is seen in 58 and 59. We have the plastic strap buttons, and that's pretty much all that I've got to tell you about this guitar. It's obviously a blonde finish. It's a dirty blonde, heavy age, so there's a lot of checking on this guitar. A little bit of buckle rash on the back, a few scratches, as well as obviously heavily checked on the neck as well. In terms of aesthetics, typically I would always go for a tobacco burst ES335 when I was looking at the 58 ones. But This is the first time I've seen a blonde one in person today, and I have to say it is absolutely blown me away visually. I think blonde guitars always have a little bit more of a character to them, especially in the wood. Typically they use the nicest maple for the blonde guitars, and obviously this blonde has kind of gone to a slight yellow, which looks really nice in person. When you combine that with the heavy aged finish and that slight kind of shadow it gives to the finish, this is one of the most beautiful guitars I've seen. Obviously got the really nice kind of dark plastics with the luscious red chocolatey rosewood fingerboard. So that being said, I'm going to give the aesthetics 10 out of 10 because I honestly think it is one of the most beautiful, sexy guitars I've seen. It's got the nice curves, nice F-holes, beautiful finish. So now that we've talked about the aesthetics and the specs, let's get this guitar, plug it into the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive and start the tone demonstration. So guitarists, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to plug in this dirty blonde 335 into the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive. Now it's time to really hear the true versatility of this burst killer, and as you guys know, I love this guitar already. In the intro to today's video, I did my own cover, my own arrangement of a very popular track called You've Got a Friend by James Taylor. I've loved this song ever since I was a kid, but I've actually done a full-length arrangement of this, which I'll be releasing on this YouTube channel on the weekend of this week. So make sure to watch out for that. I recorded it on this blonde 335, and in my opinion, this guitar just suits that track so well. Obviously, you've got 2 PAF pickups. On the neck, you get that beautiful kind of jazz tone. I'm on the lead gain channel. This is the neck full volume, full tone. Straight away, we've got so much character in that tone. It's got that perfect Gibson tone in my opinion. Obviously it's a 58, so we have an absolute colossal neck. This guitar is a really nice low action. It just feels so nice to play. What a guitar. What's not to like by that tone? On full volume, full tone, for a 2-Rock Bloomfield drive, you're getting a beautiful jazz tone that's so dynamic. It responds so nicely to my fingerstyle playing. They almost act a bit like P90s, these pickups. Obviously, they're darker in quality of tone, but in terms of dynamic range, they have a very similar thing to P90s. Obviously, if I dig in, obviously it gets compressed. If you pull the picking back, just has such a nice piano tone. It has such a nice mid-range. It's so nice. Let's roll down that tone control a little bit to 6. Guitars like this, I find that really unlock your creativity and playing, and normally it's because it's inspiring you, and this guitar is inspiring me to play fingerstyle, lots of jazz stuff. But obviously 335s are known as being the burst killer. They're known as one of the most versatile, if not the most versatile Gibson instrument out there, and that's because you can get jazz tones like this, but then on the bridge pickup, put a bit of gain on, you have a great rock and roll guitar. And if you add fuzz on, which this guitar acts really nice here, can get everything from this guitar, and that's why it is the burst killer, and that's why I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do prefer 335s in terms of the playing experience. Of course, I've got my brand new kind of 55 Les Paul, which does a similar type of thing, and I love that Les Paul for that reason. It's got such a unique character, but the 335 has such a lovely bloomy tone. It's a great guitar for review videos like this when you're just playing in a room by yourself. This guitar is awesome for that reason, whereas the Les Paul might cut a little bit more. This guitar is perfect as a all-rounder, in my opinion. Everyone should have a 335 in their collection, or a guitar very much like it. Anyways, back on track. Let's hear some more clean tones. So, one of my favorite kind of covers or arrangements on the internet is Nathaniel Murphy's version of What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, and he used a very similar guitar to this. I'm going to cover that now because I love it and put my own spin on it. But in the middle position, you get that beautiful, slightly twangy tone. It's slightly telefied, but with more bass. As you can hear, it has quite a nice kind of high end to it, but let's hear it. That middle position has a really nice sound. Again, we're still in that kind of in-between between clean and distortion. Clean and crunch. Really good Marcus King tone if you want to play the mute swing. Lovely sound all around, and on that same, tone on the bridge pickup, you just got a really nice rhythm tone. You aren't going to get much better than that in terms of tone, in my opinion. That's the tone I have inside my head. It's a beautiful mid-range. It's going to cut through any band. Obviously, Les Paul's probably going to cut a little bit better, obviously, because it's going to have more bass end. But the playing experience of this guitar is the top of the top. I think this is one of the best guitars you can buy from the Gibson Custom Shop, in my humble opinion. Love the neck shape. It's definitely for the thicker neck fans out there. Definitely, the lover of more simplistic guitars. Obviously, we don't have any binding on this guitar. It's a simple blonde finish. I do love the blonde finish, though. I think it looks so smart, especially when it's aged like this. To finish off today's episode, I'm going to be doing some fuzz tones. As I mentioned, this guitar handles fuzz so nicely, especially on that bridge PAF. So, I'm going to put my fuzz on now. Let's play out some Chris Buck, or at least an attempt at it. So guys, that is the end of the tone demonstration. So let's go to the outro of the video where we total up all the ratings for this guitar and give you a final review and rating. So guys, we're at the end of this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Before I run down all my ratings and my full review of this guitar today, make sure to hit the like button if you've enjoyed today's video. Comment your thoughts down below. What do you think of this 1958 reissue? Do you think it's amazing or do you think it's overrated? Let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, if you're new to Squealing Pig Guitars, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. And whilst we try to complete that goal, we're on the mission to find the best guitars in the world. We want to decipher which ones are the best and which ones are not so best. So make sure to hit subscribe if you'd like to follow us on our mission to find the best guitars in the world. Also, make sure to hit the hype button down below. This is a new feature YouTube has introduced to help out small creators like ourselves. So make sure to give us some hype points. It really helps us get more exposure on these videos. So in today's episode, I have been absolutely gobsmacked by this guitar. As you saw by the intro and by my playing on this guitar, and my kind of review as I was playing it, this is one of the best guitars I've ever played, just full stop. It is an incredible example of a 1958 reissue. The neck is perfect. I love the dirty blonde finish. It's an absolute pleasure being able to play an instrument like this, and unfortunately I do think this is going to fly off the shelf as soon as it gets put in the stock book, which is very sad for me because it means I won't be able to play anymore. But this guitar is sublime. I really want to own one of these one day, once I can save up some more money again after bursting it all on the 1955 Les Paul. But it's an incredible guitar. What more can you want? Obviously it's a guitar that exemplifies. Of course, it's a guitar that really showcases simplicity and how simplicity is important in guitar building, in my opinion. You know, it's a very simple kind of maple top, maple back and sides, obviously that electric Spanish shape. There's no binding on this guitar. There's no kind of bells on it. It's just a very stripped back guitar, but it just plays so nicely and it resonates so nicely in the room. So you guys already know my score for value and for aesthetics. Obviously, I scored a 10 out of 10 for aesthetics and a 9 for value. I only dropped it a point there just because obviously it is a very expensive guitar, but in my opinion, if I spent that money on this guitar, I would not be sad at all. I'd be very happy. So it's only a 9 because it is obviously over that £5,000 bracket, but that being said, it's a very good guitar for what you're getting. Obviously, it's not very frilly, it's not got a load of flame tops or anything, and that's probably why a lot of people wouldn't see it as very good value, but in terms of an instrument that inspires you, it definitely does that. So now I need to reveal my playability and tone test. What am I going to rate that out of 10? So I'm happy to announce that it is a 10 out of 10 again. This guitar I had no problems with. I didn't tune it once whilst I was playing, which is always a big criticism of Gibson guitars. Everyone always says the G string can't stay in tune, but that wasn't the case on this guitar. It was completely in tune from the start of today's demo all the way to the end. Even when I was recording my full arrangement of You've Got a Friend by James Taylor, I didn't have to tune it once. That's a good sign of a good guitar, even when you're doing all the bendings. This guitar resonates so nicely in the room. If I just play a couple of chords, it's got a nice bright tone. And obviously through the amp, you've got such a kaleidoscope of different tones. Obviously, in my opinion, this is the burst color. It's the most versatile Gibson ever made. On the neck, you can get nice jazz tones. You can obviously roll it further down, get like the woman tone. Middle, you can kind of get overpowered telly tones, but still, you can obviously bring them tone controls down and get a nice jazz tone. On the bridge, obviously, you've got like Oasis, you've got classic rock, you've got Zeppelin. Obviously, with the fuzz, it reacted especially nicely. You get that Chris Buck tone. For me, this guitar is so versatile and has an endless, string of tonal opportunities. I'm completely honest in these videos. I wouldn't tell you a guitar was good if it wasn't. This guitar has truly impressed me today, and it's such a shame that I can't have it, but obviously we can't have all the guitars that we play, unfortunately. So after totaling up all the scores, this guitar has scored a 9.6 out of 10, which means it actually tops our squeal board. You might be asking, what is the squeal board? It's our leaderboard for all the ratings I do in this video, so you can see how all these guitars compare to the other ones. We are eventually going to categorize it into shred and metal guitars, vintage guitars, and acoustic guitars, so it's more fair for the more unorthodox guitars that maybe I might have a slight bias towards. Obviously, I love Gibson guitars, I love vintage guitars, so I'm going to have a slight bias when rating, ESPs, Sirs, and stuff like that. I'm going to put them in their own category, so I'm just rating them solely on being a metal and a rock guitar. But obviously, this is in the vintage guitar category, and therefore is topping that list with a 9.6 out of 10. But anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. It really means the world to me that you guys watch these videos. Our last video about that Fender Masterbuilt seemed to really stir the pot in the comment section below, but I love having conversations with you guys in the comment section below. So if you agree with what I say or you disagree with what I say, it's completely fine. Leave me a comment down below. I love chatting to you guys about your opinions about guitars as well. That's what makes the music and the guitar industry so good, is obviously having differing opinions and talking about what we like and what we don't like. To make your voice heard in the comment section below, let me know what you think of this dirty blonde guitar. I have to say though, I think it's one of the best guitars I've ever played. It's the king of ES335s in my book, and it's definitely the burst killer. But guys, that is the end of the video. This is Squealing Pig Guitars. I'm Ben Keightley, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. But until then, keep rocking guys. I'll see you soon.